Well, you saw it. Brock Lesnar returned at SummerSlam 2025 in a huge He had all the accomplishments, all the big main events, the best possible work schedule at one point or another, and of course the money and fame that came with it at being the top of the wrestling world in WWE. He wasn't too big on being famous outside of the ring. He didn't like the travel schedule, and of course the wear and tear of performing in it wore on him. But the fact remains, he always had an aura, a larger than life electricity. The light came on, and he stood brightly within it as a WWE performer and is easily one of the biggest WWE names of the last 25 years. He was probably coming to the last few years of his career anyway, but the way he went out wasn't how anybody would have wanted it. The issue wasn't just the fact that his career ended so abruptly. It was weird, it was disgraceful in the way that it happened altogether. So how did the Beast Incarnate, as he was billed, the most dominant superstar of the past 25 years or so in WWE, maybe ruin his career in the eyes of some? Join us as we dive into fantasy booking to alleviate the more or may not touch on here. What would you have him do in the WWE ring right now? Yeah, a little bit of fantasy booking to alleviate the more serious issues we'll discuss. Get in the comments and let us know, and subscribe to Sportskeeda Wrestling for more content just like this. Brock Lesnar abruptly leaving WWE isn't a new thing, but the difference between now and decades ago, when it happened around a big WrestleMania match and he wanted to pursue other things outside of wrestling, happened on his own terms. WWE fans were very angry with him in 2004 when they found out he wouldn't be renewing his contract with WWE after just 2 years. 2 years where he became the biggest breakout superstar in the company. And now he was abruptly leaving after a big match with Goldberg at WrestleMania 20. In all fairness, nobody blames him now because the trajectory of his career and the life that it took. He had a good reason to leave. He saw veterans in the locker room who had been there for decades and couldn't imagine living a life where pain medication and alcohol were the only coping mechanisms for the life he would take on in the ring and the road that would come with it. He may not have had the success he desired in the National Football League, trying out for the Minnesota Vikings. He did have some brief successful bouts in New Japan Pro Wrestling, but outside of WWE, his meteoric rise in the MMA world is astonishing, particularly in the UFC, where he went on to become a UFC heavyweight champion. His box office appeal there from the pro wrestling audience translated well into the UFC, making him the most valuable star in the sport that they had ever seen up until Conor McGregor would come years later. But Lesnar was no chump, and the UFC ran a fully legitimized marketing machine around him that secured him as the baddest man on the planet. Even when he lost the title via KO, it was to a guy named Cain Velasquez, the premier heavyweight star in the MMA world at the time. So there was no real shame attached to it. It's exactly what allowed him to get the most lucrative contract in WWE upon his return around 2012, especially given the number of remote and limited dates he would work, becoming a special attraction and still keeping the allure of his big blockbuster monster appeal. It was unprecedented to have a special attraction like that. Although there were ups and downs in Lesnar's second run, he won multiple world championships, continued to become a WrestleMania main event star, and always felt relevant. Even if fans would boo him, they were still reacting to him. As the 2020s rolled on, things began to change a bit. For one, Brock Lesnar was pretty much ready to retire or maybe just slow down his career even more, as he saw that crowds were maybe not coming back in 2020 due to the pandemic. It took a bit of convincing, yeah, that's where the problem really began, and it was all during the stage where Vince McMahon convinced Lesnar to return. He managed to successfully do that, and on screen, it was standard business as always for Brock Lesnar and the special treatment he would get. A big return again, a world championship win, another WrestleMania main event. He somehow had his best bout with Roman Reigns after their long series of main